Thanks for stopping by. My name is Peaches. I am just a girl daring to take on risk while navigating a new life out here in the countryside of northeastern Ontario, Canada. Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Peaches. Thank you so much for being here. Now, we are going to talk a little about my pressure canner here, my t-fal pressure canner. If you are a beginner canner like I am in terms of pressure canning, I would say that the t-fal pressure canner is a decent one for you to start with. And I am going to tell you why very soon. Now let's look at what my pressure canner came with. It came with 2 racks, right? You are never supposed to can without putting a rack at the bottom of your pot. So one goes to the bottom and then the other one goes on top of a layer of pint jars, which this pressure canner, which is a 22 quart pressure canner, holds 16 of these pint jars. So you would have it like this stacked on top, right? It also holds 26 of these half pint jars. And so you'd put the bottom and then you'd put this rack and put the rest of the jars on top. And then for our quart jars, it just holds 7 of them, right? So you just put 1 rack in and then you put the jars in and proceed as you are instructed to proceed. Now, when I got my pressure canner, I actually was a bit disappointed because when I ordered it online, I saw the fancy dial and all. And when I got it, this was what I got. And I thought it was basic. I ordered another one thinking that maybe this was a mistake, but it came with the same thing. I returned it, right? And then I quickly realized when I started using it that I don't mind this so much. And I'm going to tell you why very soon. Now, the first thing I had to do before I used my pressure canner was to clean it. And in order to clean it, I had to fill my pot halfway up and then put 4 tablespoons of baking soda in and then follow the instructions from the instruction booklet here, the manual, and I put this on when I was supposed to put it on. The thing about this is before you do, they always suggest that even during the canning, between batches, you take the dial off here and you look through the hole just to make sure that there is nothing that's blocking the hole, because this is where the steam comes from. And if the steam does not come out, you know what's going to happen? Yeah, the pressure will build up, and that's a problem. We don't want that to happen, right? Because I don't know, maybe I mentioned it, but I was fearful of using it at first because I was thinking, what if it blows? What if all the jars just break in it or something, right? But once I got over the fear after I started using it, after I cleaned it, that helped a lot, right? And then I have used it about 3 or 4 times now. And so, yeah, I'm no pro, but I am feeling more comfortable now, right? Okay, so I mentioned that I did not like the dial when I got it first, but I quickly fell in like with it. And the reason why is because there are 3 numbers here. 1, 2, 3. This is the pressure. that builds up in the pressure canner when you are, it signifies the pressure, right? How much pressure. And how much pressure you use will depend on your altitude, right? Now, 0 to 4,000 feet above sea level, it is instructed for us to use 2 pounds of pressure, right? If you're over 4,000 feet, then you are going to want to use 3 pounds of pressure. So I don't have to do any guessing game. The number is there. Number 2, that's my pounds of pressure that I need. I don't have to stick anything on when the pressure builds up or any such thing, right? Basically, what I do when I put my jars in is to put my lid on, and after I put my lid on, I put it to steam, and then as soon as I see steam start coming out of this baby regularly, what I do is, or enough steam, right, to say pressure is building up, what I do is put my timer for 10 minutes, and after that 10 minutes has elapsed, I go ahead and put my gauge to 2 for my 2 pounds of pressure, and then when the steam starts coming up after I put my dial to 2, then according to my t-fal instruction manual, that is the time when sterilization has, is that the word they use? I think so. When sterilization, which means that your food is being cleaned and cleared of all bacteria, that is the time, so it can be stored safely. That is the time when I should start my timer, right? And so I will start my timer for 90 minutes, because you're going to find that most things that you pressure can is going to be pressure can between 45 minutes to 90 minutes, right? And we don't mess around with that time. We do the time as it is instructed because we want to be safe, right? Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, so I have my pot going here because I am going to be canning some chickpea. So check me out later. That will be in another video. Now, do I like my pressure canner? Would I recommend my pressure canner, this brand, this type, to anyone? Yeah, I already mentioned I like the simplicity of the dial, so I like my pressure canner very much. My thing I didn't like was going through these instructions. Like the wording sometimes was pretty confusing and you have to guess and second guess, and I don't know. If you had experience with this t-fal pressure canner, you could give me your opinion on it. But for me, I found that when I started, the wording was a bit confusing. But that's it. That's the down thing. If there is any down thing, like there's gonna be spot in your pressure canner, yeah, mine already has a line in it where the water has boiled a few times, but it's expected, right? It's gonna get stained. I think it's aluminum inside there, but anyways, yeah, I would recommend this pressure canner, especially for somebody who is beginning or learning to can, or somebody who just want to set it and forget it. No fussing around. And actually, yeah, one thing that I have to do when my dial gets up to 2 pounds of pressure is I have to turn my burner back so that it maintains the pressure within the green space here where the number 2 is, right? And I have already figured out but that my burner here, I can just turn my pressure back between number 2 and low, and I am good to go. So that is pretty easy. That is pretty good for me. So yeah, guys, I am liking my t-fal pressure canner. Drop it in the comments and let me know, have you used one? Do you own one? What do you think about it? Would you pressure can? I would say give it a chance, give it a try. I have so many beans and stuff on my shelf right now. Even my hubby, when I wasn't feeling well this week, he went and he popped open a jar of beans, and he used it for soup. So that's a good thing. He didn't have to go cook the bean from scratch. I'm sure if he had to go cook that bean from scratch, I wouldn't get that bean in that soup. So it's a good thing to have them on the shelf. And I don't have to buy the beans in the tins anymore, right? And so, yeah, I am liking that. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you again soon. Please hit subscribe and help me to get to 1,000 subscribers. Also, watch those videos for me to help me to get that watch hour up. And also go to community, leave your thoughts there, share with us, check it out, because sometimes I will leave little posts there so you can engage with. Thank you so much for helping me to build this channel and to build a community. I will see you again soon. Walk good now.